Welcome back. This episode goes back to the emotional heart of the show while still tying in that spooky vibe we've been focusing on. Let's get into it. A baby stares past you, looking at nothing. But not really, because babies don't stare at nothing. Or maybe they do. But all my life, I grew up with the belief instilled in me that children, babies have this innocence that makes them capable of seeing things that we as adults can't. But when the thing they're staring at isn't something you can see, you can either believe your eyes or you can believe theirs. If you're a parent, you probably get what I mean. This is the story about the time I babysat my little cousin and how she was communicating with something that wasn't there, and what I found out years later, and who she was actually looking at. I'm Ashley-Raye, and this is Dying to Know. Anna is my little cousin. Well, she's all grown up now. But when this story took place, she was only about maybe a year and a half old. Not quite walking yet, but old enough to try to turn sounds into words. That in between stage. Not quite yet a toddler, but not really an infant anymore either. So, anyway, I was 16 years old and I'd babysit Anna regularly. Couple hours, a few days a week after school. We had a routine. Anna would play in her pack and play while I did homework. Then I'd heat up her dinner, feed her, and by the time her parents came home, we'd be halfway through her bedtime routine. It was the same every time. Until one night. I was at the computer doing my homework. Anna was in her playpen beside me, just like any ordinary evening. I glance over, and she's standing in her playpen, facing the opposite direction, looking down the hall into the kitchen, just staring quietly. I stared at her for a moment, trying to figure out what exactly she was looking at. Then she started doing that baby babble thing that babies do, like she was talking to someone, but no one was there. I got up from the computer, and I crouched down right in front of her, eye level. She leaned to the side, looking around me, babbling down the hall at the kitchen, talking to someone I couldn't see. I did what any teenager does when the baby they're watching starts talking to something invisible. I pretended I hadn't noticed. I picked her up. Hey, you hungry? I carried her toward the kitchen so I could heat up her dinner. As we entered the kitchen, Anna became excited. Whatever she was seeing didn't scare her. She was smiling, giggling, clapping, like we were walking toward someone she was happy to see. I buckled Anna into her high chair. I got out her dinner, warmed it up, cut it into little bits, and I sat down in front of her to feed her. I was smiling at her, talking to her, doing the silly airplane thing with the spoon. Anna paid no attention to me at all. It was like I wasn't even there. She kept looking past me, right over my shoulder, smiling, babbling, laughing at someone standing right behind me. I turned to look, but there was no one there. Empty kitchen, empty living room. I turned back to Anna, and she just kept laughing. That belly laugh that babies do. Like whoever she was seeing just did something funny. I had mixed emotions. It was rather off putting to witness my baby cousin communicating with something I couldn't see. But she never seemed afraid or threatened. Years later, many years later, once Anna was a teen, about the age I was when I'd babysit her actually, I was hanging out with her mom, enjoying a cup of coffee, and somehow our conversation drifted and we started talking about the paranormal. She told me when Anna was about 3 or 4, she told her about seeing people who weren't there, and she would talk to Nana all the time. Nana was my cousin's mom, Anna's grandma. She died of cancer when my cousin was pregnant with Anna. Anna never got to meet her Nana, but she did. I knew immediately that's who Anna smiled and laughed at as a baby, at her grandmother, who, even in death, was determined to see her granddaughter grow up. If you've been here with me through the entirety of the show so far, then you know about my belief. The belief that the dead don't die, that their energy and their love live on forever, and that they're always with us. Babysitting Anna and the experience I had with her showed that to me. I couldn't see her Nana, but I know for a fact that she did. That's who played with her in the playpen that day, and who apparently continued playing with her. I don't know if Anna still sees her Nana. Maybe someday I'll ask her. But before I go, I have a question to ask you. Have you ever seen a child talk to someone who wasn't there? Or a kid who's described a relative they've never met? Tell me your story. I would love to share them in future episodes. Next week, we're going to go back to our spooky theme, and I'm going to tell you the story of the baby monitor. Now, if you already have a fear of baby monitors, like I do, next week's story probably isn't going to help. But I hope to see you next time.